Hello. Hi, Sabrina. We're live streaming maybe in a minute. We're gonna be live streaming in a minute. Let me close out all my tabs. Hi, Sabrina. Welcome to the party. I'm live streaming on my Facebook wall because I didn't set it up to live stream on inside the group, but I think people will know where I am. Okay, let's see. Hi. All right, let me know if today we do some back and forth, if your camera ready for later, and if you're not, it's okay. Just let me know. Okay. I still have wet hair. Hi, beautiful. Oh yeah, I don't hear
There
you
we
yet.
go.
That's fine.
Yeah, there
Okay,
we go.
awesome.
Hi. It's good to see you.
You too. I know. I need to book that. I need to click on the link you sent me and book the
Oh
thing.
yeah, you're gonna love it.
All right, here we go. I'll get started in a minute. So while I have you here, why don't we chit chat about what's your biggest, I guess, what are you most grateful for in your sales journey in your business right now? Do you have anything?
Hmm. I'm most grateful for embodying the expert.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you're starting with that. And
I
then
feel so.
pivoting from the student, getting out of the student.
Yes. Yeah, getting out of the student, embodying the expert with like humility and grace and, connection to God, like knowing
Oh,
where my sources comes from, my strength, all of that, and just it feels so good. It feels so like, oh my gosh, yeah. So
I love
that's a
it.
big win. It's like a huge win for me.
I know. So just to give everyone a little bit of a background on there. So I get everything from working with people, right? Like I get all the downloads and I actually realized that Sabrina, you were like such a good student. You know, you were taking notes and learning and sometimes we think the more I learn, the more I'll become an expert
I'll
or,
finally
you
get
know,
there.
I'll finally get there. And I'm a little sneaky fairy and I like shortcuts. You know, I'm like, wait, why don't I just leap into being an expert now? Why don't I just embody the expert? So tell me, do you remember what I told you the first thing you had to do? Because this I got from Atomic Habits, and we are what we do. So I
Yeah.
reversed engineered this for Sabrina. It was
Yes.
like, well, for her to become an expert, she needs to get the heck out of the house because you had your
Yeah.
mother-in-law in the house. Like, when are we eating dinner? You know, like one of those like stuck at home. So, what did I
Yeah.
tell you to do? Do you remember?
Get a place to work. Go where you get dressed, you get into the professional clothes, you get yourself out to an office space, go to a cafe, go wherever you can go just to
Get out
be
of the
like,
house.
I am here in this professional zone
And it
instead
works
of
really
like
good.
trying to find it somewhere in the house. So yeah, it did. It was great. It was such a good
It started
insight.
everything for you. It shifted everything.
And I
Yeah.
think it's important for people who do work from home to, create that boundary. If, you do have a home office and have created that space, like just really make that. Like when I step into this room, this space, I am the professional. I am,
Yes. You
it's
own it.
not mixed. It's not a combination of places where you do all these other things. I think,
Right.
so if having a place to go isn't possible for someone, like really establishing that within your home, thankfully I was able to find an office. So I have
Yeah.
one, which is but it's really so wise. Yeah.
But even if you can't afford to get another place, you could even go work at a friend's office space and you guys trade and exchange.
Totally.
It's just psychologically you just need to leave your house because you'll get out of your PJs, you'll get out of TikTok, get
Yeah.
out of the house. But it's
Yeah.
the whole premise is step into your expert, step into
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So hi Jamie, hi Kai. Okay, thank you Sabrina. And just to wrap up with that, like so Sabrina came into Sales Angel Heart and then my Made to Win program and Sell in Your Power program. And how many five-figure months have you had?
I have had So 5 figures, I've had 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
you almost
sure.
had another one recently, right?
Yes. Well,
So,
actually, that's not true. I mean, I've had more than that. I'm thinking of the big 10K months.
yeah,
I've had like 3, 4,000, 5,000. But
yeah,
I'm taking the biggest ones that I've had that,
of course. Yeah, yeah. So you've
first
had
10K month was
four-figure
like,
months.
what?
Yeah, and
You
you're
know,
still breathing. You have one-on-one clients. This is all having one-on-one clients too, right?
yeah. Yeah, this isn't even groups yet. So, yeah, that's my
I love it.
next.
Okay. Thank you so much. So,
Mhm.
let me talk for a bit and then maybe I'll bring you back, but let me get
Yeah.
the download. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let me just see if I'm gonna take all of the camera now, I think. Am I the only one on camera? Okay. So let me channel these downloads that's been coming through me for everyone here, and whether you're here or watching the replay, we'll go back to Q&As. If there's anything I say where you feel like, wait a minute, there's something missing, or I went too fast, or it's not landing, do type it in the comments now or when you watch the replay. This is for you. I wanted to do this for you. My greatest love in life is to be a channel between the divine and my beautiful sisters on the planet. And I devote 90% of my time for this. Like, this is my life's work. So if anything's not landing, let me know. What I love about Sabrina's success story is she's just like any of us, right? She's an RTT graduate. She used to be a hair professional, a hairstylist. This wasn't her life. Like, she didn't go to graduate school for this, right? And she used the tools, and she had me in her back pocket. Okay, so that really helps. If so, sales can sound really scary. It can feel really scary, and it can be like such an unknown territory. And I just want to offer you a little bit of a thought to take in. Like, do go in it with gentleness and love, and you don't have to learn, you don't have to go to, a business school for 4 years to get what sales are like. I don't know where to look. Sorry, I'm like looking in the wrong place. You don't have to learn how to sales for 4 years, but I love learning, like, in the trenches. I love, as soon as I graduated from my healing therapy programs, as soon as I could, I wanted to practice. As soon as I knew a modality, I was like, let me go do this at parties. Like, I would take my oracle cards, my angel cards, and read people's energy at LA parties because I lived in LA at the time. And I just wanted to learn, like, in the trenches, like on the field. I know there's another way we can say this, but I wanted to be, as soon as I could, of service. Okay. So I'm inviting you to walk through your sales training journey as an expert who knows enough already to help so many people, and as a student to walk with both. There's going to be days where you have self-doubt and you think, I'm not good enough to put out a program. I'm not good enough to do a group program, or I can't do what so and so is doing. I'm not good enough yet. And that is one feeling and one voice and one belief. But I bet you, if you hang out with me a little bit, we might do this today, I'll walk you over to the other side where there's a whole new ecosystem of beliefs, a whole new paradigm of beliefs where you're like, what was I thinking? Like, oh my gosh, I can help so many people. Okay. So let's just ground and be in our bodies for a minute. Sales is a feeling game. If you can have a little bit of a greater, clairsentience, like a sense of, I know how I feel, and I'm truthful and I'm honest, and I show up as who I am in full authenticity, and I'm anchored on the, in earth, and you're here in this moment with me. We're going to breathe together. And if you're watching the Facebook Live, hello, 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 hello. Well, this is where I'm streaming it because I couldn't figure out how to do it in the group. Imperfect action. All right. So my intention for you today is that by the time you've watched this, you leave this live feeling more positive about your ability to go to your next level, wherever that is. For Sabrina, it's going to be to have multiple five-figure months in a row or go into her visionary leadership, because to go from not making any money as a practitioner to having a fuller practice and having a wait list of people, or just having to push people's start date later, right? So they pay you, they buy the package, but you can only get them started in 2 weeks. That also, by the way, is a huge possibility, and it's happened to a few of my clients, okay? So to go from 0 to 4 or 5 figures, you've got to shift from the student to the expert, okay? It's good to have a sisterhood. It's good to have people in your back pocket who help you realize, hey, I think you're believing a fat lie about yourself. This isn't true. That's the truth, okay? And then to go from 5 to 6 figures, you have to get out of being just a practitioner to a visionary, to a leader, to someone with a message, to someone with a brand, to something that can really hold like a greater capacity of, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to show up. And you kind of have to believe in your ability to help more people all at once in one call, right? And there's a way to structure that, and there's a way to get your beliefs behind that, and there's a way to script that into being. It's kind of the same formula for, I need 3 clients this month who pay in full at 3K each, to I need 30 people who sign up at 1,000 each this month, right? It's getting behind it, getting over yourself, and believing in the bigger picture, and just sort of tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it until it just feels normal, until it's like, of course, oh my God. All right. Okay. So sales is a feeling game, and we can go in and out of having like an anxious, avoidant relationship with money. I don't know about you, but I used to be anxious, avoidant with love and romance and sex and guys. I was like, oh, avoidant or super anxious if I'm dating a guy I really like. So I was like flip-flopping, and it was just exhausting, right? So thankfully, I did RTT, I've worked on myself, I prayed a lot, I've surrendered, and now I am in a very secure relationship with somebody who's super healthy. So secure attached, which I freaking love. And I know that with money, we can have a similar thing. We could be like, oh, avoidant. I don't even want to think about sales, Alex. Like, please stop showing up on my feed talking about sales. Like, I just want to stay with my little earning that feels really safe. Like, you make maybe not enough, but you feel like, okay, that's enough. Or maybe you're at 5 figures a month and you're like, let me just cruise. I don't want to just stretch, okay? Or you can be avoidant about bills and debt and not feel your feelings. Literally, if someone hired me to get them to, and actually they have hired me to do this, if someone hired me to get their debt to 0 or to half off, I would literally, the only thing I would do with them is to feel their feelings about the debt, to stop disapproving of the debt, to give it approval, and to dissolve every yucky negative feeling about it. And I bet you it would literally get resolved so fast. So Jamie and I were on the phone this week, and I walked her through these different steps, and she did it live. It was incredible. I had her do the first pillar of happiness, which is like letting go. You literally just freaking let it go. You let go of your shame. You let go of your anxiety. You let go of it kinesthetically through your chest and stomach. You let energy out. Okay, you just let go of the anxiety. You let go of feeling avoidance. You just let go. And it just is a sensation of surrender that is the beginning of what's going to make you rich, is surrender. Stopping, like no longer holding it in mind. Whatever's going on with your business, guys, like there's nothing to fix. There's nothing broken. Believe in yourself. Like there's nothing wrong with you or the business. And if you're writing comments, okay, here, I can see them now. Yeah, and be in response. If I say anything that's like, yeah, I get that, then just you can comment. I would love to see comments. And there's nothing wrong. Surrender. Let's just do it together. Like everywhere you believe that you don't know enough, that you're not enough, that somehow You need to be more. Can we delete that? I'm going to ask for the light to just come down and surround you, uplift you, and fill you. And this is the light of consciousness. This is the light of truth, to delete and create, transmute. Everywhere you're lying to yourself, everywhere you're picking up the cord of I'm not enough and I need to be more. Can we delete that? Can we just like burn it, freeze it, whatever you need to do, but just experience your energy without it. Like really release it, drop it. Anything you're trying to fix, anything you're like, oh, if only, right? If only it was different. And maybe there's shame around it, there's guilt around it. Can you drop it? Can you let it go? Yeah, even more, guys. Oof. Okay, good. Even more. Anywhere you're wondering how it's gonna happen, if it can happen, can we surrender the how and the need to know how and just put it in God's hands, put it in the heart of Creator that is also within you. Yeah, and even more. Can you let it go even more? Good. Shake it off. Like, yeah. Ooh, like cut your cords to that yucky, sticky, I need to control it. I need to know when, how, what. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to protect our feelings from getting hurt. But in that energy you were in, didn't you already feel constricted? Don't you already feel kind of small and not enough and hurt anyway? Right? So expanding, growing, let the light keep moving through you. Get taller, like let your aura get stretched out. And there's a version of you that's just like a little bit taller than you. She's a little bit higher up than you. She has a bird's eye view on your business, your ideas, your beautiful energy. And she knows that when you step into the world, you're a light. You know, you're a frequency of truth. You're a frequency of I'm enough. You are a frequency of I know how to get you to go from A to B. I'm an expert. I'm an expert who's still willing to learn. Okay, but I'm an expert. So students pay to learn, and they are the one paying the 5 figures a year or a month to learn. And the experts are the one who get paid to show up, right? They're the one who receive the money. And it's a little tweak in your mind, but it's a big, big shift in your priority. I just want to put a little parenthesis, if you want a deep dive into the shift from student to expert archetype, I did record some guided meditations and when we were live in my mastermind, and I think Sabrina was on the call too, and I can make those, I can put a link below if you want to grab that. Okay. All right, Jamie, yeah. Okay. So we can only pivot from where we are to where we can go as long as we know where we are. Okay. And I was rollerblading. I'll tell you this story. So I manifested living in the south of France on the beach on the Mediterranean. Like I had a 3-bedroom condo on the beach. It was 2 stories, and I got to live there with my son for about 2 years, and I felt complete. So then I moved back to the States last summer. But when I was rollerblading on the beach, I was watching this couple. They were driving around. This old couple was driving around in their car looking for parking. And I was rollerblading down this boardwalk, and I saw them in the first parking lot. And then by the time I got to the second, they were also still looking at the second parking lot, like half a mile further down. And they had this look on their face of being lookers, like looking. And you know, when people look for parking, they have this look about them. Like their eyes are a little bit like they're on a mission. You know, you can tell they're like little old people behind their steering wheel, like, okay, let's look for parking. And I know, because I read people's energy, like that's my work. I know that they left the house telling each other, oh honey, we're gonna have to look for parking. Let's go, let's hurry up, we're gonna go look for parking. So they're programming their upcoming reality with the need to look, right? It's a habit. It's become a habit to be a looker. So I was rollerblading, and I'm always kind of talking to my guides, and I ask them, I say, how come I always find parking? And I heard, because you're not a looker, you're a finder. That's how my guides talk to me. They're very direct. They're like, because you're a finder, not a looker. And I was like, oh my God. Because, even with, I'm French, right? So this is my little French thing. But even with men, like I've never looked for a partner. I've never looked for dates. I'm always a finder. Like I don't look for guys. I just find them or they find me. But it's just because I'm a finder. Now I'm a looker for lots of other things, I'm sure, right? And I have to catch myself and be like, you're not a looker, you're a finder. So that's the pivot that came to me. It was a couple summers ago. And I told one of my my client that, Christina, I told her about that. And then she told her boyfriend. And ever since, they have this thing at the house where her boyfriend now is like, wait, I'm not going to look for anything. I'm a finder, not a looker. I'm a finder, not a looker. And if I was a finder, where would it be? And he's been finding things instead of looking for them. So we have these identities, okay? So we have the identity. The identity creates a belief. The beliefs create thoughts, and the thoughts create a feeling of frustration. So we recycle these feelings over and over again. Being a looker is so frustrating. It's like hopelessness, helplessness. Some people feel empowered by it because they're like, oh, I'm going to look for clients. I'm like, please don't look for clients because you're going to push them away, right? Do you guys get that? It's like, oh, I have to feel that anxiety, that angst. I'm looking for money. I got to make more money. And there's that feeling of like, oh, and it's like almost like, this push, like this anxiety. And then there's a belief, hopelessness. It's going to be hard. And then there's a paradigm and there's an archetype. Do you guys get that? So if you can just leap into choosing to be a finder, it changes your entire perspective. It changes your entire paradigm. It changes everything. You now are like, I think like a finder. If I was a finder, where would it be? And let it show up, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and then like a year later, I was hanging out with this friend and we were going to a Christmas party, and he picks me up. We go into downtown, into this city where we lived, and I'm a finder of parking, but he was driving, and he drives right by a parking spot that we would have just found right away. And I'm like, he was very masculine and I was very much in my feminine. So I didn't say anything, but I did say, oh, there's parking. And he's like, yeah, let's see if we can go look for parking. And he was so funny. I mean, he's an engineer. And I realized that he needed to drive around before he could go park where I had pointed it out. So he let that parking spot go. He drove around and then he came back and parked in that spot. And I realized in that moment that some people can only be finders once they've looked, which takes commitment. It's like, oh no, I can't have it so easily. Let me go struggle before I can have it. Anyway, so that was my looker to finder analogy. It's probably cemented in your mind. You're never going to forget this. Like you're going to have it locked in. This is why I like storytelling, because it just makes you remember lessons faster when you storytell. All right, do you guys like this? So student to expert is another one. It's a pivot. Now I have my beautiful sisters pivot all the time. There's always an opposite. If you feel like a financial victim or helplessness, there's an opposite archetype you can meet and you can spend more time with that will help you win and that will help you succeed. Okay, you just have to know where you are so you can know where you're going. So in order to know where you are, you have to kind of be more in touch with your feelings and with your thoughts. That's why I kind of took some time with that story, so you could reverse engineer where you are at. And please, tell me in the comments. I can also help you, but an archetype will believe in a paradigm, and the paradigm is always the absolute truth for that archetype. So for the beautiful little looker who's like, I gotta go look, I gotta go look for it. It's their whole world is to be a looker. It's their paradigm. And then they have beliefs and they have thoughts and then they have feelings. Okay, so it kind of goes like that. So if you need to reverse engineer, what I always suggest is you got to do something that I call a happy map. It's your GPS to find out, where am I? Because if you were asking me, if you called me up and you say, can you help me get to where you are? I would have to ask you where you are. It's like if you're like, well, I don't know where I am, it's going to be hard for me to give you direction because if you don't know where you are, how can I tell you where to turn right on the freeway? If I don't know where I am. But the way to know where you are is to check in with your feelings and to trace it back to a thought and a paradigm, and then hopefully even an archetype. Okay. So I'll give you an example for cells. And a lot of our archetypes do not belong in our businesses, by the way, but they think they do because no one's told them they don't. Yeah. So, what I mean by that is if you have a wounded inner child who doesn't feel good enough to go on stage and give a talk in front of 100 people, or you have an inner child who's very insecure, she needs to be reminded that I'm the adult that's going to do the talk, not you, honey. Like, you get to go play. But unless we do that, she's going to be super anxious through you and come out and sort of make you feel all that anxiety, but it's really her, it's the inner child. Does that resonate? Did you guys like my Looker to Finder story? Okay. Thank you, Sabrina. If you came for like very practical sales tips on how to run your sales funnels, this is not going to be it today. But this has worked. I've helped CEOs scale to multiple six figures just using energetics. Of course, they did all the more practical work of having employees and then funnels and all of that. But this is the part that is the foundation, because if you get this, you can scale your business much faster and you'd get out of your own way. Okay, so my question to you, beautiful ladies, thank you for being live. What do you feel is your current GPS point? Where do you feel you are at? That's a recurring sticky feeling. So the happy map kind of goes like this, but it's like and you want to say your name just to anchor, feel, because. So when it comes to cells, Alex, feel, and then write the feeling down, and then let your because come through you like a stream of consciousness. And breathe as you do this. Just keep breathing. And if you want to leave it in the comment. Okay, we're going to try to reverse engineer how you feel about cells. So Jamie, feel because, and you let it come through you. And you can direct message me on Zoom, I feel because. And let me know when you got it. You kind of want to go fast. And when you have time to do this exercise, and I do have a whole short mini course called the Happy Map, where you get to do this over and over and over again to clean up the parts inside you that are getting in. So sales is a feeling game, because if you can clean these up before you have a sales conversation, and you can be very neutral, very much in your heart, very much just clean, squeaky clean in your energy, and there's not a lot of wobbliness. People love buying packages from others who feel truthful and authentic and aligned, just super clean. So I feel because. I feel when it comes to sales, I feel nervous because I don't know if anyone's going to buy. That can be one. When it comes to sales, I feel like hopeless because I'm never going to make it. That's another one. So you're just like looking at what's going on in my own energy field that I'm still in. Like, what if you're still in like the looker Okay, what if you're still, what would be, you guys can help me out. So you're either a 5 to 6 figure practitioner all the time, selling all the time, or you are stuck in the one who believes it's hard, the one who believes it's hopeless, the one who is so a lot of sometimes for women, we get stuck in the mommy or wifey archetype who doesn't want to make money because she wants to, her love language is quality time with her kids or quality time with her husband. So I've helped quite a lot of wives shift out of being stuck there into more being the one who can make the money. So, you know, where are we at? So yeah, I'm curious when you think about your oppositions to sales this week, or why would you be opposed to book and receive your next client? Why are you opposed to it? That will also bring it up, your oppositions to, for Sabrina, like leading a program of 30 people, 1,000 each, or 15 people at 2,000 each. Why would you be opposed to that? Okay, I might make a mistake. Oh, good. Yeah. What else? Can you unpack that? In having a big, I might make a mistake. And if I make a mistake, let's feel into that. Oof. Ugh. I might make a mistake. So is that the warrior? I will want to give up. That's another one. That's another part. Can you feel that? That's not the same part. I might make a mistake. I will want to give up. I feel like those are two parts. I will want to give up. Let's unpack that one. I will want to give up because, what's your because? Who do I think I am? Jamie, do you guys, okay, this is incredible. Who do I think I am? That's the judge and the critic. So Jimmy and I just started working one-on-one. We haven't totally dissolved that, Jamie, but that one will not stick around much longer. Okay? Yeah, that's a critical inner voice. That's the stepmom in there, right? So just love that part. Everyone who's got everybody who got an answer, can you tell? How can I explain this? Can you tell that that's not your true self? Like it's a thought, it's a paradigm, it's like the looker and the finder. There's an opposite part who is your truth. Yeah, okay. This is so good. Oh my God, I can tell when we're doing really good work. Okay, Brittany says, I love sales, but I've been feeling fear while promoting my mentorship this week, fear of rejection. Okay, so Brittany, what is the actual thought? And then I'll help you, Sabrina, as well. What is the actual thought? I, Brittany, feel because, or why am I opposed to promoting my mentorship this week? Try to get the belief, Brittany, okay? You'll hear it. Okay, so Sabrina, you know what to do. Go ahead and validate her. Reassure her, make her the promise. And then after you do that, it will give more solid energy to your expert who can do this. Yeah. Oof. Okay, I'm just gonna not talk for a minute so that everybody can really breathe. All I want you to do right now is, if we triggered a little bit of a little gremlin, you be the loving mommy to this gremlin. You love it, you absorb it, you let it come into the heart. Okay, so love, 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 love. Shine lots of light on that. Breathe and feel and just be one with that thought without trying to change it, without trying to pivot from it just yet. Remember, if you want to go somewhere else, we have to know where you are. Yeah. Oof. Oh, I'm processing. I'm cleaning everybody up as I'm live. I clear people's energy through my energy field as well. So just connect to the light. And even though it feels real and even though it feels really heavy, your number one job is to accept. Let go, bring light into it, and accept it. Accept, love, it will dissolve it. Yeah. Open your chest and stomach like a double French door and just let either light come in or the heaviness come out, like bubbles out of your chest and stomach. Ooh, yeah. Good. Breathe. Business and visibility and sales are going to bring up every little gremlin possible that we haven't fully, been, we haven't had the opportunity to really reprogram. Okay, so I want to go a little bit into what Brittany is saying because it's so interesting. So Brittany has a photography brand business, right, Brittany? And she's promoting a mentorship program. So it feels like you're stepping into the role of the mentor versus the photographer. Maybe I might be wrong on the two because I know you've taught courses before and things like that. So it's good for, this is a good example because Sabrina's stepping more into her role as like a leader, a speaker, a visionary, a program creator, which is like a mentorship thing, but it's not that you guys don't need to wait for the world to see you as a mentor. Yeah, you don't need to wait for the world to see you as a mentor before you get to see yourself as one, right? So Brittany says, I've always been a mentor, creative consultant. Yeah, so if you've already made money as a mentor and there's still fear of rejection, that's interesting. Let me feel into this. Yeah, and I get that you do not feel afraid of rejection as a creative consultant. Like as a photographer, you do not feel afraid of rejection. I feel like if I put you through selling more photography things, it's like, oh, of course, it's a for sure yes. It's like if I needed to sell some of my courses or my one-on-one, it's like, yeah, of course, just let me get out there and sell them, right? Where it feels more wobbly is when you want to sell your mentorship program. So it just feels like there's no, yeah, you haven't stepped fully in that expertise vibe, and there's some wobbliness, which is probably an inner child. It's the fear of rejection could be your inner wise one, afraid of the witch wound. There's something in there. I'm not able to pick it up. I don't know why I can't pick it up, but got you. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, I've always felt like people hire me for messaging and it feels transactional. I want to build long-term relationships in the space of holistic business growth, storytelling, messaging, simple business growth. So you want to hold hands, you want to do longer containers, like a business coaching, visionary, longer term, longer commitment. I mean, the way that I do this, you guys, that makes it really easy for me, and this is something I wanted to talk about, is okay, so it's two part. It's being of service and really, really caring and making it a no-brainer. If I hire Brittany for 10,000, knowing that for 6 months she's gonna be focusing on my brand, my storytelling, my messaging, and she's like, "Oh, I'll pay you 10K and you help me make 100," it's a no-brainer. I know you care. I know you're going all in. I know there's return on my investment, right? So that's one part, is make it a no-brainer. When you're on the phone with someone and they see your value, they see what they could do with you, then it's a no-brainer. It's an investment, money is coming back times 10, right? Another way to get there is to get over yourself, to get over these parts, is to just really focus on caring. And I think as women, we're such good carers. We really, really care. But we care so much that if we don't feel we're good enough, then we don't sell at all. Because we're like, oh, but I care about people's money. I don't want to take their money. But we care in the wrong way. I would love for you to care so much about the humans that you do get out there and you are willing to help them and you are willing to sell. Now, the best thing you can do for somebody is to own your boundary and own your price, and just be so solid about it inside yourself that you do care for them, so you do have a boundary. If I had a teenager that wanted to take my car keys and he goes out drinking with his friends, I care. The kid's getting grounded and not getting my keys. Like, I'm having to put a boundary to protect him, right? Well, in business, the best thing you can do is be really good at sales, because I probably have helped. So I've been teaching sales specifically for my RTT sisters for 4 years. You guys, this is insane. This is the 4th year I do this. And how many packages have been sold? How many people have been helped because these beautiful RTT practitioners took my training and went out there and were willing to sell a 3 months package? Do you know how many people would not have gotten the help that they got because, I taught boundary sales and package sales, like don't sell sessions, sell packages. It's huge. I don't know, how much money was generated because we were like, hey, this is how we're going to do it. We're not doing it any other way. RTT is an incredible modality. Here's what we need to do it, as. Now, just so you know, like when I say sell packages, they are weekly calls. So there are other tools involved besides RTT that I teach and facilitate, because the same things I'm walking you through right now, the feelings, the emotional, the archetypes, when you learn it for yourself inside my ping pong courses, then you can ping pong with your clients, and it merges with RTT. Okay. So it makes you feel more confident, because now you have a modality in your back pocket that's worked for you to manifest clients and money, and then you can use it for them to manifest the results they want as well. So it's a really good deal. Okay, so just in your notes, just ask yourself, how can I care? How can I be more caring about the actual humans behind the screen? How can I love them so much? How can I want to give them the truth and the posts and the emails? Like, I am in bed at night. Sometimes it's 11:30 and I don't want to be posting in my stories, or I don't want to send the email. But because I go back to, I freaking care. I care. I don't care if it's just one person who shows up, but I care. Because I care, I'm going to show up. And I think that really, I don't know if you guys like that, but I feel like it's such a quick way to get over the fear of, let me just care enough that I don't listen to the lies of these parts inside me. Because I care, I want to be of service. Does that make sense, Brittany? Does it help you, like, just be like, wait a minute, I care about this client coming in I'm going to transform her business with my messaging, my storytelling, my ideas. And I care about her results, and I care about the people she gets to help through her business. And because I care, I'm going to freaking post. I'm doing this. Okay? I don't know if caring doesn't work for you, find another way. Like at the beginning of my career, it was all about being of service. And I got this from Doreen Virtue, because she would sing on stage and say, like, if I get nervous, think of service. If I get nervous, think of service. And it really stayed with me. It was like, okay, if I get nervous, think of service. So the first time I ever taught a meditation class ever, it was on Las Vegas Boulevard inside this brand new Whole Foods. And I had never taught an angel meditation in my freaking life. I was like 20 some years old. I was a little baby chicken angel therapy practitioner, and 20 people came, these women came, and I had printed out these worksheets about archangels, and I channeled this really powerful guided meditation for an hour, and I felt like this goddess had taken over me, because my voice got really deep and powerful, and I got over myself because I was like, I have to bring light to this city no matter what. Okay, I feel like I already care too much, like I've given too much care in my business. All right, so maybe for you, that's not the one that's gonna work. That's why I said if care doesn't work for you, like meditate on what is the action verb that is going to do it for you for this next evolution of you. Maybe for Sabrina, your next up level isn't to care more. That's what came to me the last few months was that one. It may not be the one for you. Just find what is it? Like, is it to, what could be another verb? Like if you just had to go 3, 2, 1, what is it? 3, 2, 1, what is that verb? That's going to help you with your next level, with your creative endeavors this year. Okay, and then we're going to go back because this is a process that we repeat. Okay, we've got about 10, 15 minutes. I do want to do Q&As if anybody needs me to go ahead and do a direct Q&A. But I want to go back to the original question. And if you didn't get the word, it will come. Okay, just put it out there in the universe. It will come. I heard to delegate, Brittany. Okay, let me see if I can get some visions for you super quick. So I think you're pretty well positioned. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the exercise and then we're going to keep going. But I think you're pretty well positioned for the vision I had for Sabrina the other day. It was to go from 4 to 5 figures. You have to go from student to expert. To go from, from 5 to 6 to 7 figures, you have to go to visionary and leadership. And for that, I do see you pretty well positioned for delegating and having a team. And so you want to unpack wherein don't I feel ready to delegate and hire out a team, or wherein don't I feel ready to create a brand so big that the Brittany brand is what people go to when they need blank. The Brittany brand is what they go to when people need, and they know that if they come to me, they get this, right? They get they get Paris, and they get gorgeous photo shoots around the world, and that's what I'm feeling is what you're in an eggshell ready to burst open for the next thing, Yeah. Okay, so the care is there with what I am comfortable with. The stretch is where I get to put this saying into place. If I get nervous, think of service. I like this. I know, I loved it from Doreen. If I get nervous, think of service. She was singing it on stage. It was so cute in Hawaii when I got certified as an angel therapy practitioner. So Brittany, ask your future self, like, how did I get from where I am to where you are? Like this future self, this 7-figure brand strategist. How did I get to you? What was the verb? What was the verb that was my overarching mission, Again, the care word was mine that I received. It may not be yours, but you'll get yours. I believe it. Your angels are with you. All right, so let's just go back because I want to show you how this works. This is like wash and repeat, like Karate Kid. You have to wash and repeat over and over again. This is how I've seen things work over the last, 15 years that I've coached people with their businesses. So wash and repeat. I invested in mentorship. LOL, that's how I got here. I love you, Brittany. Okay, stop distracting me. Brittany's such a good friend and we have so much fun when we're together in Paris. So let me focus. You're like we're so ADD when we're together. I'm not gonna look at the screen, Brittany. You can call me later. All right. Oh my God. All right, focus. So let's go back to the original question. When it comes to sales, when it comes to your next level, when it comes to pivoting into that next part of you, so you're no longer just a student, you're no longer just a mentoree, you are becoming a leader, a mentor, you're becoming this next thing, okay? You're becoming the expert, you're becoming the one who sells packages every week and you have a 5-figure month repeatedly. What is your now feeling about that? Be honest, be truthful. Don't try to override it, because that feeling is your point of attraction. That feeling is what will manifest into a 3D reality. So, what is your now feeling about stepping into the shoes of that woman? And it might be different from what we just did this, right? But some time has passed, so it might be different. I feel because Jamie, Kai feel unsafe, or whatever you feel, because, and try to do it from the body and the feeling, not the mind. You're really letting it come from your body. And breathe, breathe, breathe. When it comes to cells or the next level, I feel. So some of you might be like, I feel petrified. I can't be on the phone selling a package, right? So clarity comes from engagement, not thought. Clarity comes from engagement, not thought. If you're watching this thinking, I need to know what goes in my package first. I need to know how much. No, you don't. Okay, Kai, no problem. You don't. And I think if you watch the training I made, I think it was 4 years ago, it was 2021, already 4 freaking years ago, I can't believe it. I recommend that what you sell at the end of a sales conversation is exactly what you guys talked about on the phone. So just to diffuse that fear of like, I first have to have it all figured out. You freaking don't. 99% of everyone who's ever sold anything through like what I recommend you do is people bought without needing to know what was in the package. Jamie bought my package without needing to know I was in it. Sabrina bought my packages multiple times without needing to know I was in it. Everyone who's ever bought, I've even had multiple people buy 5-figure packages for me, not needing to know it was in it. People don't buy the 22 PDFs and the 50 audios and the weekly 60 or 90-minute calls, and no one needs to know what's going to be the theme of the weekly calls. They don't know. You know why they don't know and they don't care? Because you're the expert, right? Like if you're gonna go get heart surgery, you don't go, wait, I need to know exactly how long, what knife you're gonna use, like what are you gonna do? No, you're a heart surgeon. So you just want the expert heart surgeon. You want the heart surgeon who's going to be like, I got you, baby. I've been doing this every day for the last 20 years. I'm going to give you a brand new heart. That's who you want. You don't want the one who's like, well, I feel kind of bad charging you $80,000 for a new heart. I don't know. Do you think it's okay? And you're like, oh my God, is it okay? Is it worth that? I don't know. It's my heart. I want to live 25 more years and watch my grandkids grow up. You know, you don't want that doctor. You want to be like, I got you. Please do this, do this, do that, and come on Monday and it will be done. That's who you want, right? So you do not need to come up with 32 PDFs and $7 freebies. I mean, $7 click, what are they called? Those things. I can't even remember what they're called because no one does them anymore. You don't need all that. You've got to own it. Like Sabrina's had multiple 5-figure months, and I don't like, you probably were like, I don't even know how I'm going to have it, but you still had it because you applied the energetic and the practical together. Okay. Jamie, I feel like I'm not good enough because I don't know how to sell. And that's what I mean. Like clarity comes from engagement, not thought. You are going to be the greatest, the best salesperson ever because you are so truthful and honest and authentic. And all you're missing is just knowing how to go from A to B, where you just tell them the price and then you don't say anything else afterwards. And that's it. Yeah. So I said all that to help you get out there and start really offering solutions to the problems people have, and to tell them the truth. Someone who wants to lose weight, she might have some pretty deep needs for losing weight. Maybe her knees hurt, and if she doesn't lose weight, she'll have to get knee surgery. And maybe, she's going to be watching her grandkids. And what happens the day she's at the park and the grandkid runs after the ball and she can't run after him because she never lost the weight? And a car drives by. Like, I twice ran after my son, and I'm fast and he's faster, but I saved him twice from getting hit by a car in the south of France because he was like bolting out of the park, and I was like, what? And I had to run after him to pick him up from the street. So he could have gotten hurt in two different times, right? And I'm a fast runner, and that's why I got him, right? So I'm being very serious here because there's something big at stake. If you can hypnotize someone into releasing extra weight, and I'm sorry if you're watching this and you feel like, oh my God, I need to lose weight. I didn't mean to use that as an example. I'm just using an example that I feel can have, some good value. If someone comes to you, it's not just like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough to sell her a package to lose weight. You have the solution, and you can change her life, and you can change her life forever, right? So I also think this mindset shift can help, right? Tripwires. Thank you, Brittany. I haven't heard that in so long. Let's say you work in your favorite restaurant and it just serves your favorite food. Like, let's say you work in a French restaurant in California somewhere where everyone is just awesome, and you sell the best food and everything smells good, and the tarts, the apple tarts, the pies, everything, the wine is amazing, the food's amazing, and let's say you're a server, you're a waitress there, right? And the people come in and they're like, oh my God, we're so happy to be here, and there's like beautiful music and beautiful paintings, and it's just a good vibe. And you sell wine, and you sell food, and you sell appetizers, and you sell beautiful dishes, and you're so proud when you serve it to them, and they love the wine and they want another bottle, and then they want dessert, and you're just so proud of bringing all this food to them. At no point are you like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. It's not right. Like, you're serving them the food, right? So when we're practitioners of a healing modality, the modality works, we know it works, we're just serving them the food. We're like, okay, here it is. I know ping ponging works, so I keep selling that and it keeps working. I keep selling Cells Angel Heart and it keeps working, right? I'm just like I'm just the bridge. I'm like, here's the solution. You wanted to eat a beautiful meal, and here it is, right? And it's not about me being worthy or not. It's just like, here. It's like it is transactional, but it's also very much hard. Like, some of my clients become my best friends. Like, I just met Sabrina in the south of France, and I've met some of my clients who traveled far to hang out and meet me, right? So it can be beautiful and meaningful as well. Okay, so Jamie, all right. So let's say you got another belief, like, I feel because. Can you take a little bit of a step back and look at the belief and look at it as like, oh, I wonder who in me would think that? Is it the conscious, beautiful adult who knows she is connected to source at all times and she's a beacon of light in this world? Is it the spiritual goddess in you? Or is it more of like, oh my gosh, like this little girl in me, this wounded inner child, or a part who just doesn't feel like she's worthy, and it's just a part. And if you can name it, you can heal it. It's worthy, and it's just it feels like the practical part. Okay. All right, so let's ask the part why it needs to get your attention about that, Jamie. Like, so we're going into this, I need to now have a conversation with this part. We're not trying to ignore it. We're not trying to tell it, oh, F you, get away. We're like, oh, interesting. Tell me more. So the part in you who's practical saying, well, I don't know how to sell. It feels like I have to be able to check the box. So when do you think you're going to know how to sell? What do you think it's going to take to know how to sell? Because it's kind of like getting your driver's license. It's like, well, I don't know how to drive, but you gotta, gotta obviously do the written tests and then you gotta go do the driver's test. But to get the driver's test, you gotta test drive and you gotta drive. So what I do recommend is you join a sisterhood where you get to practice together the sales beats. Yeah, I need to release the ego and embrace the energy that is a match for the right clients. Yeah, so I do love the practical. I believe in it. I believe it's 10 to 20% of the formula. So once you know the sales beats, Jamie, I'll hook you up with some of the girls in the program who can practice the beats with you. So there's one, two, what is it, 4 or 5 beats. So the conversation is like, let's say an hour long, and you have 4 or 5 sort of mini missions, like mini little beats and things to do in each of those little mini micro missions that has proven to work over and over again. And I know when I don't do them or my sisters don't do them, then they don't sell, right? The person doesn't buy at the end. But if we do these 5 things, the people buy, they're super happy. Sometimes they pay in full, right? That part you can practice, Jamie, for sure. You could practice each beat with people who also need to practice, yeah? And then you'll be like, oh, okay, let me do for real with someone who is a potential buyer who needs to buy this and get going with me. Yeah. Okay. But the thing at the end of the day, guys, is the practical part is the least of them all. Because if it was really practical, you just freaking go do it. You'd be like, Alex, where's the video? Let me watch it. Give me someone to practice. And by Tuesday next week, you'd be done. The practical part would be like done. If you got to take the laundry out, it's done. If you got to cook meal, it's done. The badass in you who can get this stuff done is I'm not worried about that part. It's the visionary, the boss, the part in you who's like, wait, where are we going? What are we doing? Oh, yeah, we're doing this. Like we're selling 3 months packages and we're making 5 figures a month. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. That's the part that's a little bit harder to install because it's got all these other parts that are like, who do you think you are? You don't get to do that. And then you got to stand up and be taller. And in the process of desiring that vision and desiring the goal, you're standing up against all the internal bullies you've internalized over the years. The mean stepmother, the mean ex-husband, the narcissists in your life who you've internalized, because we've always, if you're a sensitive earth angel, you've internalized every narcissistic bully and they're now living in your head. So part of this work, and that why I'm so passionate about it, is it will free you from the internal parts that are really mean, and if you're doing this exercise for the first time and you heard really mean things in your head, please know you're not alone. We've all had them. I've had them at the beginning of this archetypal journey. I had some really mean people in there that were like, oh, like pretty much you're just a piece of shit. You don't get to have anything. That was living in there. But if it's living in there, then guess what? It's manifesting its own paradigm. It's manifesting its reality. So it's really worth it to question it. And it kind of rhymes. It's really worth it to question it. Why don't I want it? What parts in me say I can't have it? That's the part that takes a little bit longer, but it's so magical. So, for Sabrina, for even Christina, for my other friend Beatrice, it was quiet. I like telling Beatrice's story. So I'll wrap up with the story and then we can do Q&As directly. But Beatrice has been a really pretty good working actress in Hollywood. She's a dear friend. We've known each other for at least maybe 15, 20 years, okay? And we met in LA at this thing called French Tuesdays, and it's this awesome guy. His name's Gilles. I actually just saw him last week. He would do these French Tuesdays parties every Tuesdays in LA, and so I would go and be with Beatrice, who's been in movies, like she's been in 2012, she's been in Batman, She's been in these movies, and I was kind of her psychic friend at the time because I was super clairvoyant, and she would call me up and be like, "Do you think I'm going to get the role?" So I would tell her yes or no. And for Batman and 2012, I was like, "You're in the movie. I see you in the movie." And she's like, "I don't know. They didn't call me back. I think someone else got the role." And I was like, "You got the role, right?" So 15 years go by. She's been a mom. She has two small kids, and we both are living in France now. And her kids are like 2 and 6 or 4 and 1. I can't remember the ages, but a few years ago, she's like, Alex, I don't know what's going on. It's been 4 years. I haven't had a job. I keep doing auditions. Nothing works. I haven't been interviewed about anything. Normally, she'd get interviewed at least about her previous movies, right? And so I know her, and she's very strong-willed and very stubborn. And I was like, girl, if you want me to help you, you're gonna have to pay up and buy a package because this is not gonna be a one-off conversation. So she was in enough pain that she was like, yeah, I need to do something about this. She waited 4 years to ask me for help. She knows this is my thing. I was like, let me fix this for you, right? And she still waited 4 years. So she paid me in full for the full 3 months of calls. And I think we were midway through. We found a bunch of blogs, but still we hadn't found the blog. And I knew that once we found it, it would be game over, right? It would be fixed. I'm a big believer, you guys, that when you find that bottom belief that's in the way, when you find it, you know really fast that it's fixed because you see material manifestation. So for Brittany, I know that as soon as she moves past the blog, she'll have people come to her asking her to be her mentor. She won't even have to sell it, Brittany. Like once you found the blog and you dissolved it, it's going to be a done deal. Just like Sabrina went from student to expert, and now she's had multiple 5-figure months. No big deal. Sabrina was like, I can't sell a single package to, oh my God, people just come out of nowhere to buy my packages. Okay. So what happened for Beatrice, I was like, oh my God, we found the block. I think we were halfway through the package. So maybe 6 weeks in, we found that her mother archetype was very much against her actress archetype. So her actress would be like, I want to be on a private jet to Canada, and I'm off to shoot a movie for 3 months, and I don't have the kids, and I don't have to bottle feed any children, and I'm not picking them up from school, and all I'm doing is laughing on set with beautiful, gorgeous actors. That's what she wanted. And then her mother archetype was like, no freaking way, you're not traveling, leaving the kids. You're going to stay home and be a mom. Like her mother, the values of her heart as a mom won over the values and the power of her internal actress. And that will always be the case. Like Mama Bear was going to win. Like, sorry, like it's just instinct. Her kids were too little. So when we found that and we sat both of them down, the actress and the mom, and they made a deal, the next day, the #1 television in France calls her and asks her to come on set for an interview on her previous movies she had made 4 years before. She literally fell out of her chair and was like, you're not going to believe what just freaking happened. Then she got a gig working on this TV show for 2 years, 3 times a week, right after that. So she went back to work, and now she's like this huge Twitter. She's doing a podcast. She literally just launched her brand. It's crazy fun. I love watching where she's going with this. Okay. So she had to negotiate between her actress and her mother archetype. And I do this work for all of my clients. It's like, who's opposite you that doesn't want to see you win? And it's hard sometimes to do it on your own. Okay, so everything I always offer has sisterhood. Beatrice would come on the weekly calls. It was so cute because she's like, okay, I'm sitting through this weekly call with a group of girls. And she would show up on the calls and be here with us and do the work. She was doing the work in the group. So I recommend you guys have a group. You have a sisterhood. I recommend you have a mentor. I recommend you have multiple times during your day where you're just moving through this mud. Okay, so all right, that's Beatrice. Rosen is her last name, Rosen, if you guys want to look her up. What else do I want to say? So okay, let's do Q&As. Anybody want to go live and chit chat? And let me know if you guys like that story. I tell a lot of my stories over and over again, but I love them. I love my stories. I have a new one. I'm gonna say I have some newer ones to share when I'm ready. It's a great story. I know. I love it. I mean, there's so many parts, you guys. I was talking to a client and we realized she had a resentment towards her ex-husband who wasn't showing up and paying for things. And I realized as she was telling me the story that she had a money matriarch. Now, some of these, I just hear them, I discover them on the spot. I'm like, you have a money matriarch. And I started to hear everything the money matriarch believed. Like, oh, I don't want your financial support. I got this. I'm the one who makes all the money in the relationship. I don't want your help. I'm going to pay for everything. She was like the money sovereign, like matriarch who didn't want her ex to support her financially because she wanted to stay the money matriarch. Now, my client was like, this sucks because I do want him to give me the 30,000 he owes me for, our children's college fund. Can we get rid of this money matriarch? Because I don't want to keep making all the money. I want him to help. So we did that and he did pay everything he owed. But all of that, you guys, is subconscious. Like if you're frustrated about a physical manifestation in 3D, there's 99% chance that you've got a part, in the bag that doesn't want it, doesn't want it. So, all right. Well, that's why cells is about feelings and tracing your feelings back to beliefs and tracing your beliefs back to paradigms and paradigms to archetypes. And if you can feel your feelings, it will start to dissolve those very sticky stories blocking the cells. Yeah. All right. There might be a part 2 to this, but does anybody want to come on and do a little direct Q&A chit chat? Jamie, you and I have a call later today, so we're going to unpack this, okay, when we do the ping-ponging for sure. As soon as you start ping-ponging, it's like the jet fuel for your spaceship to cells. If you don't ping-pong, it kind of feels like you're stalling. Like, where's my fuel? So we'll get you the fuel. Don't you worry. Sabrina's like, yeah. Okay. Kidding. Are you on Zoom? I feel left out. Ah, oh, yes, I'm sorry. I should have put the link. Let me share the link. Copy invite link. You made me laugh, Brittany, with your surgeon story. You're so cute. Of course. Because you're in France. You're like, I don't trust these surgeons. French surgeons, do not trust them. All right. Sabrina, do you want to come on? Or do you feel complete?
Yeah, I can
I
come
feel
on.
like the caffeine is kicking in, so I'm sorry if I've been a little high on this call. I'm like, I should not have maybe drank the whole thing. Okay, Sabrina, let me see. Oh, hi. Sorry, did I cut you off? My volume was off. Okay.
No, I don't think you cut me off. Like it's not letting me take my video off, but that's okay.
Oh, you want to turn it on? Let me help.
I don't have to. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I can just talk.
I want to see you. Yeah.
Hello. Oh my goodness, this was so good. Thank you.
I know. I'm always nervous before the calls. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then it just comes through.
Yeah, that's the way I am wanting to be. So I'm working through those, saboteurs on that. So that's good. I worked through some of that today.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Because that's part of my resistance with groups, is that showing up, in front of the screen. And, I've had, several groups with a few people, and yeah, I still haven't busted through all of the,
So I'm seeing clairvoyantly that there's a part in the way that's actually the hairstylist. And she loved making one person happy at a time.
Yes, that's what I'm comfortable with.
She doesn't understand how she can cut hair and make everybody beautiful at the same time. She's like, I only got 2 hands.
Yeah. One-on-one is what I know.
Clear, cancel, delete. See, you just said it. All right, everywhere. See, this is how I bust my clients' balls a little bit. I get them to tell me what they're supposed to tell me, and then I go. All
Yep.
right. So everywhere it's true that one-on-one is all I know, delete, uncreate, transmute the whole thing. Now, everywhere I believe that one-on-one is all I know, delete, cancel, clear, delete. That's all I used to know. That's all the hairstylist used to know. And we can validate her and tell her she can go ahead and keep cutting hair if she wants and make one person happy at a time. But over here, she's teaching other hairstylists how to hairstyle, how to style hair, sorry. Or she's teaching a group of people how to have beautiful hair at the same time.
Mhm.
So it
Ah,
can
that
be,
was always a dream of hers too.
see? So we always get there through love because she trusted
Yeah.
me enough to tell me like, oh, I only can only
Mhm.
style hair one person at a time. And I see the whole movie. Like I see you
Yeah.
standing behind your client and she's looking at herself in the mirror and she's like, oh, you know that feeling of like, oh, I'm beautiful. You made me beautiful.
Mhm. Yep.
You were so good. So she's like, oh, but how can I have that high, that feeling, that validation?
Yeah.
If I have a group of people. So just show her that it's possible, that you can. I even know of a, a couple during the pandemic. They were hairstylists in LA, and during the pandemic, they started an Instagram channel where they were teaching people how to do hair, like how to be beautiful with their hair on Instagram through a course, and they became like multimillionaires just doing that through COVID.
Mhm.
I Somebody gave me their Instagram. I have to find it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
good.
you just you take
Play
where
with
you
her.
play with
Mhm.
her, make her dream bigger because she's in there. How
Yeah.
long were you your hairstylist for?
34 years.
Yeah, she's in there. You know, like we need to negotiate with her. She's the boss.
Yep. Yep. It's good.
Okay,
Mm.
good. I can't wait. Anything
Mhm.
else?
Um, that feels like the big one. That feels like the
Well,
big like
yeah.
breakthrough for me right now.
Before I saw her come through really clearly, I would have said, oh, take your current one-on-one clients that already love you and put them in a group because then you get to practice with people that you already have worked with one-on-one and you get to
Yeah.
practice in a group setting.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that that's good. I think that I'm
But
gonna
that's the
start,
10.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
sorry.
start a meetup. I'm gonna start a meetup group. I think I want to do some stuff on Meetup.
Yeah, and it's call and response. So
Mhm.
they're going to tell you what they need and you're going to be like, oh, I know what they need. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh, people struggle
Yeah.
with this. Yeah.
Jamie said my hair could use some help. LOL. Oh, my
Where did
sister,
she write that?
in
Oh,
a direct message.
oh.
My daughter is a hairstylist now too. It's in my generational line.
I love it.
My grandfather
Yes.
was a barber. My mom's brother was a hairstylist. My mom was a hairstylist. I was a
Oh,
hairstylist. Um, I have maybe 5 clients that I still do their hair for them. And
no.
my daughter is a hairstylist, and she got all my clients when I stopped doing hair and went full time into hypnotherapy and coaching. And so she does hair now. She loves it. So
And
Jamie, if
that's,
you live in Oregon,
yeah, she's where there's a lot of snow. She's in New York.
oh nice, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but wait, what was I going to say? So the practical part of you practicing groups, so doing like a weekly meditation for your one-on-one clients,
Yeah.
that's the practical 10-20% that will still be very valuable, but the 80
Yes.
is that hairstylist who's like, wait a minute, we're hairstylists in the family. Like we only help one client at a time.
Yeah.
She needs to be upgraded to be like, yeah, well, we can also be a trainer. Like we train other hairstylists or
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. No, it's good. I feel
making
that.
that familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's there. It's so there. It's like right there on the surface. Like, yeah, I'm ready.
Good. Yay. So you'd be
Yeah.
pivoting from I'm a one-on-one hairstylist or one-on-one practitioner to wait, there's a bigger purpose, a bigger vision, a bigger
Yeah. I'm
why.
on stage. I'm teaching. I'm training. I
Writing
totally.
books, you're an idea generator. So I think for her, you're gonna have to get her to see, hey, we love being a hairstylist because it helps people feel beautiful and it helps their self-esteem and there's quality time with them, like very one-on-one. And then you
Yes.
want to tell her, say, hey, I promise you that when we do the bigger and we help everybody, we will still have one-on-one. Like Alex has one-on-one during the group calls, and even big authors have still that. Like even Tony Robbins has one-on-one when there's 5,000 people on stage. He's still,
Yeah.
and you could be like, I would still be helping that one person feel better. I'm still helping the one
Yeah.
person feel beautiful.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, architect, yeah, yeah.
And I do a Reiki share group, and it's like that. So
Okay.
it's not, I do it. I just now in my vision, my bigger scale of what I want is, where I need to
Yeah.
put that there, put that in that, see that, and like, yeah,
Yeah, those parts will block the ideas.
yeah,
So it's negotiating. We always negotiate with their values. For Beatrice, it was like, okay, wait, what's important for you? Well, I'll let you work as long as it's local. Like you can have something in Paris. So she went on this TV show for 2 years, for 3 times a week. It was like, okay, we worked with that. We worked with that.
yeah. I like that. Yep, yeah,
Okay.
it's huge, so helpful to
Yay.
bring that in, like, all of the benefits, all of the,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hmm
Well, because then it's easier for those parts to see.
yeah,
That only works with parts like the hairstylist in you. It doesn't work if it's a bully or a
no,
judge or a critic.
right,
Then it's more like get the fuck out. Like then you got to be like, who
yeah,
are you? You don't belong here. So that's different. I
yeah,
don't, we
yeah. I
dissolve
don't
those
feel
differently.
that. Oh yeah, yeah, and we've worked through a lot of those together
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dissolved them. So, wow, yay.
Yeah. And they don't really come back. Do you see how you don't hear like
Totally.
the
It's like
mean
stepping
energy.
into, yeah, it's like you've just like taken off this cloak and have
Oh,
stepped
yes.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. Hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sabrina.
dear.
I love it.
Mwah.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
keep
you.
in touch. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, babe. All right.
Hmm.
Anybody else? Can I come on? Yeah, Brittany, but do you want to come on the Zoom? And then we have Jamie, do you want to check in or we can sorry, I just had a little oat milk coffee burp. I need to possibly get my charger. No, we're 23%. Okay, I'm okay to wait to ping pong. Okay. Did you come, Brittany, are you coming on the Zoom? Oh, you are. All right, girl, let's unpack this. What's going on? Evolution, expansion, contraction, evolution, expansion, contraction. Okay. It's part of the process. We evolve, we expand, we contract. We evolve, we expand, we contract. I don't know why I can't unmute you. It's not letting me unmute you. There you are.
Oh
Hi, babe.
my God. I feel like I'm at this like exclusive party. How do I turn my video on? I'm drinking.
Hell, and you're drinking alcohol. How are we going to do this? I don't think I've ever helped somebody while they're drinking alcohol.
I'm doing it because my nerves are so high for my citizenship interview, and I was like, I need to get drunk tonight.
This is streaming on Facebook, just so like,
Okay, I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real.
oh my God, me and Brittany on a Zoom live. What's gonna happen? I don't know.
Oh my God, I was supposed to be studying and then I caught you live and I was like, there's something I need to hear. So
Aw.
here I am with
All
my
right,
Prosecco.
martini in Paris. I'm gonna be in Paris on Monday, but I'm not staying in Paris. I'm being whisked away. Well, whatever. I'm getting picked
Ooh.
up and I go to Belgium and then I go skiing. I know, I'm so spoiled. My boyfriend's picking me up and taking me skiing. So I don't know if I can come see you, but maybe, oh, on the other side of that, I will. On the 3 weeks later, I can come see you in Paris.
Okay.
All right, so let's focus. You want to grow your business and expand to being more of a mentor.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's already like what I do, but it's been
Yes.
so sporadic, and now I'm like, this is it.
You're not going to be able to focus. We're not going to be able to do this, are we? Okay. So let me unpack it. So when it comes to mentoring women, you were afraid of the fear of rejection. Is that a sticky, recurring feeling?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever experience it outside of your new programs launching?
Yeah. I mean, with France.
I know.
With France, please accept
Everyone
me.
in France, everyone rejects you in France. It's just like get used to it.
It's more like it's more just I think how I'm perceived because the work has never it's I've always done this work, but I've always felt like it's transactional. And I don't want to feel like people are just like taking from me. Like that's how I
Are
feel.
they taking from you?
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Okay. You feel like they take from you. And then when you feel or believe they take from me, then what does that help you? What does that justify? Because they take from me, then it justifies me.
Charging not enough.
Okay.
I feel like
Oh, I should charge more because it's not to the level that they take.
oh, I just feel like people like I don't feel like appreciated and respected. I feel like people just like they want my creativity, they want my wisdom, but they don't want to pay me for it. Like people do pay me,
Yeah, I know.
but it's like it's so weird to describe. I want to really be valued for what I know I offer. And I feel like people come into these like quick and small containers, but they won't like be on the journey. And then I feel like that affects the way that I can do the work with them because I know it's a long-term thing. Like I want to walk the path with someone. I don't want them to just come in and be like, Brittany, tell me my message and then peace out. Because yeah.
And then do you feel like do they leave you good feedback or do you feel like they don't because they don't stay with you long enough to give you feedback?
Like to be very, very honest, I feel like because they're not in it long term enough, they don't get the results. And then that creates imposter syndrome because I'm like, well, my clients aren't getting
Yeah.
results that they could if they stuck around.
And so what is holding you back from taking that genius you have and only making it available inside a sizable package?
Well, that's what I've been working on since January, since December, and it's like I know how to market myself, but I feel like people aren't paying attention or aren't inquiring or aren't
Yeah.
interested. But then if I put out like a stupid 1 hour session, people will buy that. But
Yeah, I love it. So you're like a perfect example of what I tell people through my sales program like is like, well, when we sell a one-off, we don't walk with them long enough to really get them incredible results. Like let's say Sabrina had only bought a one-off session from me and I never was able to stay long enough with her to find those parts that were blocking her 5-figure months. I wouldn't be getting a live testimonial from a previous client. You know what I mean? Because hadn't sold her into that. Now, was it scary for Sabrina to invest at that level? Yeah, you know what I mean? But I held my ground. I knew that in order to help people, I do not sell one-off sessions. Like you need to get to a place, Brittany, where that's not even a possibility. Like you do not sell that genius as a one-off. You just don't because it doesn't help them. It doesn't really serve them, you
yeah.
know, to not get the full Britney.
Yeah, and I'm like I'm at that place where I'm not
Yeah.
offering that anymore, but then it feels like harder in sales because I'm like putting myself out there every day. I mean, every day. This has just like been my energy in January, by the
Yeah,
way,
I
because
got you. Yeah.
quarter four of this is my
Okay.
highest quarter, but um I just feel like I'm in this like weird energy and I'm like,
Yeah.
where is everyone?
Aw. Yeah, and then would you be open to offering the bridge from where they are to where they want to be? Would you be open to doing that on a call with them?
Like a sales call?
Yeah, like a deepening, unpacking call.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against sales calls. I do have like a
Yeah.
10-day sprint where someone can kind of like come in and if they want to work on something specific. Um, but again, it's like, and again, as a projector, it's like I go into it and I'm like, they need so much more help. Like, we need so much more time. And so I really would like to work with people like on a 4-month minimum. And
So I think what I'm picking up is we in business get such good hits from like the quick hits, like, oh, she bought a 10-day thing, she bought a session. And it's like we get validation from the quick hits. This
Mhm.
is more like I'm talking like deep marriage, like deep, like we're looking for like lifelong clients who just keep coming back for more and up level with you and like so for that you got to date them. And to date them, you can't need the quick hits. That part, so I think there's a part in you who's still, and I'm going to be super transparent, but I think just like I saw Sabrina's archetype, I am, and you and I haven't done like private one-on-one work together, but I do pick up your like the teenager in you who is like, what is it going to take to get validation at school and validation at home? I feel like you didn't get validation at home, not much, and you didn't really get validation at school. So you were like, what the fuck is it going to take? And so you got used to the quick hits, the quick hits, the quick hits. Ooh, he looked at me. Or wait, did she just say did my mom just told me good job? No, I don't think so. But like it felt like so now we have to rewire that because that little teenager in you, she can't hold the space it takes for marriage with clients who are like, I'm 25K in with Brittany because I know she's gonna take me higher.
Mhm.
You see the difference? We gotta heal her.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've like from when I met you, you've gone you're like way beyond that, but she's still in there worried that when she puts a boundary of like, wait a minute, the only way you get my genius is if you're all in with me and it's 6 months minimum.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel that like when you were speaking earlier around like the film and photography, like I'm so unapologetic in the sense like, nope, this is my minimum. I will not even have a conversation beyond that. Like I feel so grounded in that,
Yes.
which is not always the case. But with the mentorship, and I've been doing this for 10 years, like I'm
Yeah.
like not new, but I've always like it's that leadership aspect that's always like tripped me up. And it's like I know I'm so freaking good at what I do, but the marketing
It's
of it.
that inner teenager who needs the quick hit. So, if you were like, came to me and you say, hey, I want to, not you specifically, but if a woman was like, hey, I want to get married, but she's still doing why not, and she still needs one night stands validation at the club, I would say we need to go and heal that because the one night stands at the club isn't going to get you your husband. Like it's a different, they're two different women,
Mhm.
you know? So she's that internal part is like not ready to set a boundary with that. So why is that? We would have to unpack that. Like why, what is she afraid of? Yeah, if she puts her foot down and has a strict boundary, maybe she is afraid of rejection. So it's
I've
like,
always said that the fear is that then I'll go like bankrupt and no one like I feel like the only way people buy from me is like the little things and then I have the dopamine high of like oh the sales and all the master classes and the programs because like I do have
yeah,
people working with me but I'm like why can't we just work together longer? Like it
yeah,
really is that. Yeah. Um I feel like
yeah,
I'm gonna, and I felt this month I was like, ugh, I don't want to launch another low ticket thing because I don't have the energy
yeah.
to do low ticket right now. But I
So
know it
it's
would
like,
sell.
but right, I got you. So it's saying no to those sales. So it's like if I told you to stop looking and you were a looker, and I said, no, you're just gonna find parking. Do not look, because if you leave your house saying you're gonna look, you're gonna be stuck fucking looking for a while. You're a finder, and you're gonna be like, you're gonna look at me and be like, she's crazy. I'm not a finder. I have to look first. And then I can find. that we have to rewire the looker. She's like, oh, little offers, dopamine hit. I heard this. I was in a meeting yesterday, and I heard this woman say that, addicts who are addicted to drugs or addicted to alcohol, everything else falls away. Their whole life priorities falls away because the brain is literally wired to get that hit from the drug or the alcohol. So they completely lose every responsibility. Like they don't go and pick up their kids because nothing else feeds their brain like that hit, So it's almost like rewiring the brain to be like, oh, waiting to sell a 40K, 20K package, even though it's scary, is ultimately the greatest satisfaction because the person works with you for a year and then you get the ultimate life transformation. You get the testimonial that's like, oh my God, because I stuck it out with her. She has, my year-long client, one of them, she stopped taking antidepressants. So she got off meds and she used to binge eat 7 ice creams in a row. And now she's like, it's in the freezer. I don't even care about eating them. Like you don't get that like overnight, unless you're committed to like a little bit longer term. So what I would just, if I were you, I would really seek to talk directly to the woman who needs you at that higher level. If I was a finder of those women, what would I do? And you stop entertaining like the little girl who needs the dopamine hit. You just no, you get her to realize that's not leading anywhere,
I think,
Does that help you?
yeah, like when you said, I can't remember how you worded it, but it was like the example of like at school or like at home life, like I feel like that. I'm like, like how do I speak to these? Like, I'm like, I feel like I already talk about this stuff, and I'm like, how do I like my projector is
Yeah.
like, why does no one hear me?
Oh, and you don't feel validated. Wait, what do projectors need? They need validation, right? My son's a projector. He needs
I
to feel
know
seen.
we're like we need to be seen, and I'm a Leo. I need to be seen and praised and like love me.
Well, you're going to be one of those friends where I have to be, honey, you got to buy 3 months from me and then we're going to make it happen. I'm going to be that friend. Because like because you have two incredible parts. You have this very amazing, smart, low ticket part who's like dopamine hit. Let's just keep creating content. And that can bring in a higher buying client, but higher buying clients, they want one conversation and they want to send you money. They're like, I need a solution. Like I needed it yesterday. I need to get going with you yesterday. She needs one quick conversation of like, what's the problem? What's the solution? Here's the plan. And she buys into the plan, and then the plan has been bought and she's 3 months in with you or 6 months in with you. And this is what I tell everybody. I go, paying you is the easiest thing you're asking them to do. Paying you is the easiest thing you're asking them to do. So I think you're just missing, you have all the practical parts. You got the 20%, the 80 is you not manifesting it through your energetics, which is your subconscious. So work with someone who can look at these parts and be like, oh, why don't you want Brittany to sell a higher end package? Why don't you want Brittany to have longer term clients? What's in there that's blocking you? And when you find it, it will be done. You'll be like Beatrice. Oh my God, this woman asked me if she could work with me for 6 months. It will literally be, I will take the screenshot of your text and you'll be like, oh, it happened. Oh my God, she just bought it 6 months. But the subconscious is the one who's going to roll. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Oh, okay, wait. Jamie says, I have bought packages that were pricey, and then once I got into the program, I hated it. It was not aligned. I don't want to sell because I don't want to make people feel yucky like that. So, Jamie, did you have a discovery call with these people that you bought a high-end pack, that you bought how much was you had a discovery call? Is that a yes? And was that a yes for I don't know which yes that was. 5K. Okay. And it was one-on-one. What was it? I need to find my charger. Otherwise, we are not going to have battery much longer. Oh, I know where it is. I know where it is. 1 second. Give me 1 second, you guys. Yes, I had a discovery call was a how to sell program. Write me a little more and then we'll unpack it. Okay, let me. I am a finder of my charger. So sorry you guys, give me a minute. In the world of, we've all bought packages where we were like, oh shit, this was not a good fit, or it was a good fit for a minute and not the rest. And I think for that, you got to kind of be a big girl and put your big panties on and be like, okay, I learned something from that experience. I'm going to use it and then I'm going to take it with me for the rest of my business journey. So you invested 5K in a program you didn't like, and that may have taught you a lesson that goes on to make you multiple six figures for the lifetime of your business, right? You just learned from that. I had spent 2K on like a business program, and then I went right after that. I bought a 20K package with a coach because I was like, I don't need a course that's going to teach me how to do emails for $2,000. Like, I needed a 20K year-long program, right? So you bought okay, it was supposed to be an in-depth program with lots of things included. And as soon as we started, she was like, you price high, and then and you tell people it's a discounted price for a certain time. And oh, I know what those are. Yeah, I got you. Okay, Jamie. So you know what? You learn, keep unpacking the lesson from that. Keep feeling the feeling of that's not who I want to be. I'm going to be this kind of person. I'm only going to sell packages that are like this, okay? And I'm only going to be full of integrity and centeredness and truth, and I'm not going to lie. So what this program was teaching Jamie was like, put a big program together, tell everybody it's 10,000, but you give special discounts and now it's 1,000, right? So yeah. But if at the end of the day, maybe you manifested that to help you clear up this fear that sales are icky and sales are ugh. But I hope I'm changing that for everybody watching. I hope I'm helping you see like being of service is selling in integrity. Like for Brittany's genius to expand and multiply, like Brittany, like once you get past this block and you go into your genius and you're able to sell these longer term packages, your genius is like gonna just shoot up and be even bigger because you're not going to have space to explore it. See what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know I was so good at teaching sales until I was able to be in containers where I got to keep talking about sales, right? I only discovered my sales genius inside containers where I was teaching sales. So you never know what you're going to be good at until you're inside those containers and you're able to be the leader in those containers. But if you feel the itch, it's because it's supposed to happen. You know, you wouldn't feel that frustration if it wasn't meant to happen. Does that help? Kind of know that? Like, yeah, Sabrina says, I've made those investments also and learned what I didn't want to do with the program training. Yeah, which is why I loved having the conversation of like shift from student to expert, because it will make you spend less money on stuff that you're buying as a student and not as an expert. So I like to think that what I offer is designed to get you to make your money back plus a lot more, because whatever I'm very result oriented. I don't like to teach or facilitate healing if it doesn't have a result oriented purpose, because then you could be swimming in teachings and lessons forever without an actual result, you know. So all right, let's just do a big sweep. So everywhere, anyone watching this now or later, you feel blocked in sales, you don't feel good enough, you feel stuck, let's delete, uncreate, transmute the whole thing. Now unplug from that paradigm, take your energy back, take your power back. Everywhere you're just feeling stuck in life or business, let's delete, uncreate, transmute. Let go of trying to fix it, let go of trying to make it any different than it already is. Just can you lean into accepting it the way it was or it is, and just soften into total and absolute acceptance for what it is. Releasing, dissolving any resistance to what is. softening your internal resistance to what is. Yeah. Oof. So everywhere you feel, I don't know how to get to the next level. I don't know how to sell to the next level. Delete, uncreate, transmute. Everywhere you guys do not like cells and you think cells are icky, dissolve, uncreate, transmute the whole thing. Now, what would it take for you to believe cells get to be this beautiful, powerful, gateway into transformation, gateway into more, gateway into your next level, and for you and for others. And so it is. Amen. Awesome. I could keep going for days and weeks and hours. So if you liked what you heard today, feel free to either book a one-on-one with me and we can unpack what's going on with you deeply. It's not a sales call unless you want it to be. Like, you guys decide at the end of these conversations if you want to buy anything. It's up to you. And I may have a group coming up where we're going to do the ping ponging and the cells together. So you'll get the 80% 80% energetics and 20% strategy that I talked about today. So if anybody's interested in that, just watch in the stories. I'm off to France on Sunday, but I'm going to keep talking about it in my stories. And maybe Brittany and I will have a new video of us walking around in Paris. I love it. All right. Okay, guys. Love you lots. I loved it today. We need to do this more often. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Talk soon, guys. I'll leave some links below. Bye, guys. Bye.